guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing something that, in my opinion, is very exciting. We are doing a little neighborhood street build. So this is something that I have been wanting to do for ages. And when I say ages, I mean 6 to 12 months ages, and I just haven't ever gotten around to it. I've been wanting to do a neighborhood street build or a little fairy mystical village with little huts and houses and stuff like that. As I said, I just haven't ever really gotten around to doing it. But then when we got all the new terrain paint tool things and the terrain up and down, when we got all of that stuff, I thought it would be a perfect time to do one of those particular builds. And I decided to start off with the street build first, just because it would involve a lot of homes, and it's something that I'm already pretty confident in building, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. So that's what we're doing today. It is a 5-home little street, and it is in the 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg. And it's actually quite inspired by Desperate Housewives, Wisteria Lane. So if you haven't seen that show, that's fine. You really don't need to have seen it to know what's going on. But if you have seen it, yes, old Wisteria Lane. I actually love Desperate Housewives. It's a bit of a shameless or shameful? I don't know. It's just one of my guilty pleasures. But anyway, as I said, there are 5 different homes on this this street, and each one of the homes kind of has its own little story. So I actually put quite a lot of thought into each of the homes, because it really helped me give them all their own little unique twist. So the way that we're doing this sort of neighborhood is that this is part 1, where I do all of the exteriors, the homes, the landscaping, etc. And then part 2 will be the interiors. So I don't want this to be too many parts, but at the same time, I want to include something from each of the homes. So I just did 2 parts. So you'll see most of the exterior and the landscaping and everything in this video. And then in the next video, what I've basically done is 2 to 3 rooms of each house. So you won't see the whole of the house, but you'll see enough to kind of get the feel of each home. So 2 to 3 builds works out to be about 5 minutes of speed build. So it's 5 homes, 5 minutes each, about a 25-minute video. So it was just the best way, in my opinion, to do it. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening now and in the future. So let's talk about the homes a little bit. As I said before, they're kind of modeled or inspired by Desperate Housewives. So this first house that we're doing now is just a standard family home. There's actually not really a whole lot of story or anything behind it. It's just kind of, I don't know, just your typical normal family home. There's nothing scandalous going on. There's nothing abnormal. It's just a family home. Now the house that is going to be next to this one is a little pink home, and this is a sort of a single mum and her teenage daughter live in this home, and that one was really heavily inspired off the home where Susan Meyer and her daughter Julie lived. So if you've seen Desperate Housewives, you'll know that one. And then at the very end of the street there is quite a large home, and that one was kind of based off of the Vanderkamp's home. So they had this really big, nice, lovely home, and Brie is this super mom, and everyone's oh my god, I don't know how she does it. But in reality, her family are kind of annoyed by her, and they don't like her all that much, and everything is not as perfect as it seems. So that's the house that we're doing now. So we've jumped up to the end of the street. It was just the way that I kind of built everything to make it all fit in properly and everything. So that's the house that we're actually doing now. So I made this one relatively kind of symmetrical and similar. So it's got, a big long porch, and it's got sort of a lot of symmetry to it, because I just kind of felt that was what a sort of perfect family home looked like. So this is kind of the Joneses home, Keeping Up with the Joneses, or that family where they're so perfect seeming, but they're probably actually not really. And yeah, so that's kind of what this house is. And I went with a different sort of wallpaper on it as well. I did kind of like a white wallpaper and an orange roof. The only issue that I had with this particular house was I kind of ran out of space to do the backyard. So it has sort of like a real side backyard, but you know, what can you really do about that? So this is, as I said, I kind of did them all in a funny order because it's just how I was trying to get the spacing right. So this house that I'm doing now is the single mum house that I was talking about, the one that is sort of modelled off Susan Meyer's house. Anyway, I tried to make it like really cute and it ends up having like this pink wallpaper and it's just kind of adorable. So yeah, one thing I do wish that I had have done with this is maybe, oh my god, I just kicked my desk then, apologies. Yeah, one thing that I do wish I kind of did with this one was maybe make all the homes a little bit smaller and fit like one extra home, or change the shape of the street. I definitely want to do another one of these builds because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, it's been so much fun. But I think next time, instead of having just like the street straight up the middle of the lot, I'm going to do it like kind of up the middle and then going down the diagonal a little bit, because I just think I'd use the space a lot better. So yeah, I had a lot more fun with this than what I anticipated, and it's kind of left me really wanting to like keep doing more and keep like doing more of these sorts of builds, because it was just, as I said, it was really fun. Take a shot every time I say that, or not, because this is a family friendly channel. Anyway, so I do start off with a few different colours until I end up making it pink. I'm still definitely having trouble with the exteriors of my homes, like just the wallpaper. I just struggle with it a lot, and I feel like I want a tutorial on it, but it's just not going to happen. I've kind of looked for tutorials on it, and I think I just need to keep watching speed builds and watching builders that inspire me, and I will just kind of get better that way and also practice. But yeah, so in a few of these builds I do kind of struggle with like the wallpaper and what to do with it and everything, but we get there in the end. So yeah, I'm just kind of doing all that landscaping I was talking about, making it really like pretty and everything. So the people that live in this house, the mum is like an artist, which once again, Susan Meyer, but I always want to call her Susan Delfino, but actually I shouldn't talk about it because it could be spoilers. But anyway, basically, the mum in this house is an artist, and also probably like kind of super into gardening and stuff. Maybe like draws a lot of like nature and stuff. So she's got like this garden that's like really naturistic and has all sorts of like reference points in it. And then I imagine that she'd sit like in her garden or sit in the front yard and just like draw. There's also like a little back room on that house where I imagine she'd draw and paint in there as well. So then this is the wallpaper for the perfect family home that I was talking about. So yeah, it's all the homes are very different because I wanted them to all have their own special, unique feel to them. I didn't want it to be kind of like 6 homes all the same, or 5 homes actually. 5 homes all the same. I wanted all the homes to be different with their own unique feel and just their own, you know, like their own thing going. I kind of feel like that's more realistic as well. Like, I know, at least in my street, the homes are kind of similar, but they're certainly not all the same. Here in Australia, I think that the architecture and stuff is very different. So you will definitely see streets where there's like 3 or 4 different styles of homes all in the one street. Or even if they're like similar styles, they're all different coloured bricks and whatnot. So I guess in some ways it was a bit of an ode to like, you know, ode to where I live as well. So yeah, I try not to go super over the top with the landscaping here, but I also wanted to do landscaping around the homes as well. So it was kind of hard getting that balance, I suppose. But I jump around a little bit with like the landscaping and stuff because I'm just trying to get the right balance. And you'll notice like behind that garage in that corner there's just like a dead space. So that's why I wish they had have maybe changed the shape of the street so that it sort of went on a diagonal, and I think I would have been able to use up that corner space a lot better if that was the case. So I think that if I ever do this again, which I probably will, that's one thing that I'll definitely do. So this is the house on like to the other side of the street now, And this is like a bachelor's home, and not like a womanizing bachelor, just like a single guy and his dog. So just in case you have seen Desperate Housewives, this is the house that is inspired by Mike Delfino, one of my favorite characters on Desperate Housewives. Yeah, so it's just kind of, I don't know, like it's just a standard home, but a guy lives there, he's got a dog. It's not, like not some modern sort of bachelor pad kind of home. It's more of a, just like a plain sort of red brick home where just the nice neighborhood guy lives, I suppose. Yeah, so I really like the way this house turned out. I'm really looking forward to giving them all their own unique feel when I decorate them and everything. So yeah, this whole like voiceover, I think I'm doing a bit more of a like, I don't know, I feel like I'm introducing Sims for like a Let's Play or something, but like I'm not doing a Let's Play. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I just get really into the game and I just really talk about all of my creations and just have a whole lot going on in my mind, and I just really want to talk about it. So anyway, like that's one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel, is because I would sit down and I'd do these really like detailed builds, and I'd have Sims in mind and families in mind, and I was like, I really just want to like talk about this, and I really just want to share this with other people instead of just putting it on the gallery and moving on to the next build. So you will have to forgive me for my madness. Yeah, but I'm just putting in those garbage bins there as well, which I thought was a nice little touch. Because when you have garbage day, you put those garbage bins on the end of the street and everything. So yeah. Now this last house on the street, or on the block, this is a large family home. So the house itself is not particularly big, but the family that live in it is a big family. So this is sort of inspired by the Scarvos. So in Desperate Housewives, the Scarvos, they had like 5 kids, and they were all a little bit naughty, and they didn't really get properly disciplined, I suppose. So they're always like running amok. They're always in trouble at school. They're always like running around the street playing pranks and just generally getting into trouble. So what I ended up doing with this house was I put all of this like clutter in the front yard. So I kind of did like toy clutter and everything, because I feel like every street kind of has it. Like that house where like half of the stuff that should be in the house is just kind of like on the front lawn because like the kids are playing with it, or actually I don't really know, for whatever reason. So yeah, that's kind of like what this house was, and I've never done something like that before, so I really loved how it turned out. I thought that it was just really cool, just like this super messy home. I'm really looking forward to doing the interior of that one as well, because I think it's going to be really cool to just have like clutter, messy, chaotic kind of house. So I really do think that the outside of it turned out pretty good. I sized down some like fridges and stoves and stuff. I know that sounds weird, but it was supposed to just be like toys, I guess. And I can just imagine like the neighbors walking past his house and being like, oh my God, there's always like, it's always a messy home, and just kind of tisking that there's kids all out the front playing and being messy and all that kind of stuff. So another sort of thing that I guess I was inspired by with this build was, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Bones, the TV show, they also did an episode. It was like something, the lovely something in the lovely neighborhood, or the something or other, I don't know. But it was this show, this episode where they went to investigate like a murder in this like, stereotypical perfect neighborhood and everything. So I was definitely inspired from that as well. And also, if you have seen it, there's an episode of the X-Files called Arcadia, and they go undercover in, again, like a neighborhood, and they've got like this crazy homeowners association. So I was just kind of having all these thoughts like going through my mind as I was building all of this. So the homeowners association would have massive issues with this particular house here, with all of the toys and just general like crap that is out the front of the house. I actually wish that I could have done more clutter, but it was hard to know what to put out, because it's not really something that you're going to get added to the Sims game when you think about it, like random outdoor clutter. But I think I did an okay job. Like, I sized up some toys, and I just generally tried to put as much stuff out the front as I could. And I kind of made it go over a little bit into the neighbour's house as well. The only other thing I probably could have put down was a few more, like, balls and stuff, like a basketball and a sports ball, I don't know. But I might add that later as well, because that's the thing with this build, is that I did do a few things off camera, because I really want it to have a particular look about it. So I think that the screenshots will be really good for seeing, like, exactly what this build is all about, because it's going to be, like, more detail to it. Now, speaking of screenshots, I actually haven't done the screenshots in this particular video yet, and that's just simply because I'm not quite finished yet. So there are still things that I want to add, and I don't want to put in screenshots and then have everything change again for the next set of screenshots. So in part 2, there will be all the screenshots, all the exteriors, interiors, etc. I think I'm going to do it like one home screenshots, next home screenshots, next home screenshots, and then at the end, all the street screenshots. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just adding in the fake cars, because I feel like that kind of makes it look more like a street, is if you have, like, cars there and everything. And then the last thing that I add is just, like, some landscaping and stuff in this back area here. And I also put in this, like, little cubby house kind of thing that you'll see in a minute. And I thought that was a really cool touch, because I kind of thought, like, all the neighborhood kids got together and built this little, like, clubhouse. So I just thought that was a really cool little touch to add to just that dead space where I couldn't really figure out what else to put. And just also with this lot, it kind of looks like it leads down to, like, the beach or something. So I kind of thought you'd have this, like, little backwards, you know, like this little back path or something down to the beach. And, you know, along the way you've got, you know, a few little things to play with. So yeah, I thought that kind of made sense. So that's, like, coming up now. So we're nearing the end of the video, so I will just put some music on. It'll just make it easier to finish the video off. But thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope that you that you watch part 2 as well and you enjoy. Okay guys, bye.